to only recognize certain type of
face at a time.
yeah. But it's going to need a little bit more time to train the AI. But the mechanism of it works fine by far. Yeah, I couldn't say that it's finished. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it is for now. Yeah, and I'm going to present on the concept. Okay, so the jobless robot is the concept that I came up with last term. It's my opinion actually, because I think that in this system, we human and the robot itself, it's not immune to replacement. Even robot can be replaced by a better or newer version. And there is something that I sometimes don't understand about people. Like we hate our job, but we identify with our profession. We somewhat link what we do for a living with our identity. But we don't want to work yet. We're so afraid being replaced by automation. So I think it's a question for us to reflect on what is the role of robot in society. And being human myself, I also understand that what job sometimes means for me more than just a living. Maybe it's also about helping my clients, for example. So yeah, it's a question for me too, a reflection for me, but I also want to invite a discussion about this kind of things. And there is a quote on book by Mark, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he said that in robot ethics, mostly it's also a reflection of us. And yeah, it's also related to the questions that I want us to discuss further. And this is actually just the beginning of what I want to continue researching on my final major project, but more on the artistic side and creative robotic as a medium. And yeah, I hope that this could also empower Indonesian artists and designers to expand on their skill, because automation and replacement requires us to keep on learning. That's also what he symbolizes. And there is other work by other artists that I think inspires my work in a way. Giles Walker, he's also a lecturer at UAL. I met him in the lab, and he talks about how we treat homeless people with his piece back in 2010. And yeah, while he talks about homeless people, I'm talking about the dilemma of labor. Like currently in Indonesian news media, there is some kind of weird thing going on, the high price for higher education. They even say, the minister even said that is it something that is not mandatory to get a high education, but at the same time the entry-level jobs are easily replaced. So it's kind of messed up how they think about this issue, and I don't think they're serious enough to solve this problem. And there is another work by Rusty Squid that I really like. It's like a unique social experiment that explores on how we should build technology. And this guy have a well-documented process on how to make the robots and how the experiments going on. This also, Sam told me about this, and this also influenced my work in a way. And there's another book on my research on the concept. It's a book published in 1964 by a professor of literature, which is my bachelor's degree. So he argued that the content of the medium can be easily grasped, but the content in the medium is a message that we can easily understand, but the medium is another message that I think is often overlooked. So I think him being jobless is also a message that I want to convey. And there is another, maybe this one is an interesting read, but I don't agree with him entirely, but I can see his like an offer to solve the labor issue that might be raised by automation in the future. There's this thing, he wrote an article on Medium that if you're interested you can access. Yeah? Okay. And on this project, the basic thing is that this robot needs to have a camera or computer vision to recognize anyone, and the neck should move to follow people who pass it by. So I can achieve this by using Raspberry Pi, or I can use microcontroller and an AI camera module. And at first I thought I'm going to put my jobless robot on the street, but then I think that it can also be put in an indoor, in diorama settings for people to visit and see him. And I think this version is more of an indoor version of the jobless robot. And this is the components that I use. I have some consideration on choosing the components because I have my team back in Jakarta and Surabaya. I need to explain to them how it works, and if it's broken and they're helping me, how can I easily taught them how to fix a thing, something like that. And does it take so much time because I only have 8 weeks and I have to divide it with sleeping, eating, and living basically. So I need to be realistic on the time constraint, and is it well documented? There are other AI camera module out there other than HuskyLens, but some of them are not well documented, so that's also less. Good documentation means less headache for me and my team in the future, and also for our technician teams. Yeah, and this is what I showed in the first week. I thought I'm going to use the 3-axis mechanism that usually being used in the animatronic neck, but yeah, I want to start small first and learn how to make a tilt and pan servo. This is what I do in the first weeks, and then I expand on the character design. The robot is a cube because in design theory, I think rectangle represents a more reliable structure, rigid and sturdy, and robot is one of the, it's inside the code. Robot is also man-made objects and something like that. So, and the circles in the head represents friendliness, and with the reflective plate, like it's like a familiar thing that's going to happen to both robot and us human. And we also, I'm going to expand on this project. I'm going to have keychains, webcomic, and since this is iconic, the design of it should be iconic because I'm going to write a story about him seeing us human later on and monetize, you know. Okay, yeah, thank you.